Deshaun Watson is officially a Cleveland Brown. Obviously, one of the hot topic buttons, and for good reason, was going to be the cause of concern of Deshaun Watson's off the field activities. Now, for me, strictly me, myself, and we all are entitled to our own opinions. And I feel for those that have been wrongly done in a particular situation, female or male. But for me in particular, and not every single fan or analyst or whatever can do this. But what is that old adage? The church and the steeple. You keep your steeple separate from your church, or however it may go, whatever the old adage is. The football player compared to the person off the field. Now, the person off the field may very well compromise the person that you get on the field. Because if he indeed did something wrong with those 22 alleged women and potentially more that did not file a lawsuit, that could be cause for concern for not only his football career, but his personal career as well. But I am in the mindset, and probably in the minority mindset, that talent wins in this league. And no matter the cost of the talent, you go ahead and acquire it. Now, for the Browns specifically, this was a move out of desperation. And what do I mean by the move of desperation? The Browns have entered the NFL back again in 1996 after the previous Cleveland Browns regime left for Baltimore. Baltimore Ravens, as we know them, in 1996. That Baltimore Ravens team, formerly known as the Cleveland Browns, have gone on to win 2 Super Bowls, had 2 Super Bowl appearances, a 16-11 playoff record, a record combined of 233 wins, 183 losses, in 1 tie. You have seen the likes of Joe Flacco, Jamal Lewis, Derek Mason come and go through this franchise. They have a Lamar Jackson who is an exciting, enticing young player who has won MVP already. This team, if you go back to 1996 when they moved to Baltimore, you can count how many losing seasons that they've had on 2 hands. Then you take a look at the Cleveland Browns that entered the picture back in 1999. They left in 96, came back in 99. And since then, this Cleveland Browns team has had 3 winning seasons. 3 winning seasons. 2 playoff appearances. No division titles. In a lack of stability, not only at the coaching position, but at the quarterback position. Do I really need to go through it? Do I need to go through the fact that they've had how many different head coaches, how many quarterbacks? We've all seen the infamous Browns jersey where they're running out of room. There is 3 columns on the back of that jersey filled with quarterback names that have started for the Cleveland Browns since 1999. So this move for the Cleveland Browns, the way that they see themselves as a franchise, a team that recently, over a 3-year stretch, won 4 games. 4 games in a 3-year stretch. Have rebuilt themselves, revamped themselves. They have 2 great running backs. They have a very, very good offensive line. They have Amari Cooper. They have David Njoku. They have Donovan People-Jones. They have a very good defense. They have Myles Garrett. They have a lot going on. This Cleveland Browns has a lot of talent. A talent that, despite Baker Mayfield being a slightly above average quarterback, was able to go 11-5 2 years ago as they made the playoffs and won their very first playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This move was made out of desperation because they see the amount of talent that they have on their team. And they're tired of the roster turnover, especially at the quarterback position. And I know damn sure they are tired of looking across the street at the Baltimore Ravens, previously known as the Cleveland Browns, and saying, man, what could have been? 2 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowls won, a MVP in Lamar Jackson, a elite quarterback in Joe Flacco at the time. Jamal Lewis, we know, broke some records. Derek Mason has been one of those landmark type of players for this Ravens team. They are known as one of the best builders through the NFL draft. They are a consistent contender since they've moved to Baltimore. Now, their first couple of seasons didn't get off to a hot start, but from 2000 on, they have been a legit playoff/Super Bowl contender every single year since 2000. And I know Cleveland is feeling that pressure, knowing that they look in the mirror at themselves and they see that jersey with all of those quarterback names listed on back. We know them all. We can name them all. They see those old school memes of the Cleveland Browns fans wearing bags over their heads. We seen what Hugh Jackson was doing, in that they were only one of 2 teams to ever go 0-16 in a season. We saw it. So this move for Deshaun Watson, whether you like it, love it, agree with it, hate it, disdained in it, disgusted with it, this was a move out of desperation. And the Cleveland Browns were willing to deal with the outside noise and the outside presence and the potential of Deshaun Watson being suspended for partial, potentially all of 2022. In fact, so much that they went ahead and fully guaranteed Deshaun Watson's contract just to entice him to come to Cleveland. And not only that, if that wasn't enough to fully guarantee a $230 million contract that is $80 million more than the next most guaranteed in a contract, they said, here, hold my beer. You might be suspended for the 2022 season. We're going to convert your 2022 salary into a signing bonus so that way we can lower your base salary. So when or if you're suspended, you're not taking that much of a pay hit. So if the $230 million guaranteed wasn't enough, they went ahead and changed his contract for 2022. This was a move out of desperation. And like I started this whole conversation with, I am in the business of having talent. If you want to win games, you got to have talent. Bill Belichick knows that. He has a great system. But without a talent like Tom Brady, that system would not be as great as it was. Chip Kelly, when he came up blazing in the NFL, he traded away and got rid of Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, and all these other guys. He learned the hard way. It's not just about the system. You need the players in the system to help you win. And at the end of the day, the Cleveland Browns did not look at it as we're adding some potential predator. We're adding a elite quarterback that, when you take a look at the numbers, is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history, in one of the best passer ratings in NFL history. That's the kind of guy we're adding. Now, Cleveland Browns, being the laughing stock that they are, go ahead and there's reports out there that they want a adult at quarterback. An adult at quarterback. They feel that Baker Mayfield was not the answer, not just because of his talent, but because of his antics as well. Deshaun Watson forced himself out of Texas, forced himself out of the Texan organization, sat a whole entire year waiting to be traded. And whether something happened or not, and I am in the camp of innocent until proven guilty, which in this day and age where there's social media and all this stuff around us and information flies at the tip of a hat, and where people get their structured information from quote unquote memes, it is harder and harder to maintain that innocent until guilty view on people. But for me in particular, innocent until proven guilty. Now, with that being said, 22 masseuses have come out and said something. 22 masseuses have put together a lawsuit. Now, there may or may not have been misconduct done there. Either way, Deshaun Watson needs to know and understand, if he did not do anything, at the end of the day, if he is found innocent of every single accusation, he needs to understand that a person in his power, in his position, cannot willy-nilly put himself in a situation like this. I don't know about you, but me, I have one hairdresser or barber, whatever you want to call him. I have a barber. I have one barber. I will not go to anybody else. Absolutely under no circumstance, even in a sense of an emergency, I only have one barber, and I stay loyal to that one barber. My car detailing. I have one person that I go to for car detailing. Alec Batiste, a very good friend of mine from Batiste Elite Auto Detailing. Doesn't matter the situation. I am only going to Alec Batiste. Doctor. I have one doctor. I am only going to that one doctor. And for those of you that may be in therapy, I know people that have been in therapy, they go to one therapist. When you form a bond with somebody, you ultimately make the decision to commit to them, they commit to you. So no matter what potentially was done or may have not been done with these 22 women, you cannot rightfully put yourself in that situation. And at the end of the day, it feels like the NFL is going to ultimately throw down a hammer for the simple fact that they have put the shield, Deshaun Watson has put the shield, the NFL shield, in harm's way. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Because we saw Tom Brady get suspended for something that they couldn't even prove in deflating footballs. We've seen people get suspended for worse. Now, ultimately, what I think it comes down to is Deshaun Watson and I'm not the commissioner of the NFL, but Deshaun Watson ultimately gets suspended 4 to 6 games. And at the end of the day, Cleveland Browns has a great running game. They got Jacoby Brissett as a backup quarterback. And then they have Deshaun Watson when he's able to play. This is going to be a consistent playoff team. And at the end of the day, this move was made out of desperation, knowing exactly what the Baltimore Ravens are, knowing exactly what the Cincinnati Bengals could become, knowing exactly that the Pittsburgh Steelers are only one quarterback away from being that elite contender once again. This move was made out of desperation. They no longer wanted to be left behind. They no longer wanted to be known as the 0-16 team or the team that came into the NFL in 1999 and have 2 career playoffs appearances, while the Baltimore Ravens have 2 Super Bowl appearances since that time. Since 1999, the Baltimore Ravens, formerly known as the Cleveland Browns, have had as many Super Bowl appearances as the Cleveland Browns do playoff appearances. They no longer want to hold that. They don't want to be known as that. They went all in, and they took the gamble because it was a gamble needed out of desperation. They see what's going on in Baltimore. They see what's going on in the rest of the NFL. They see the talent that they have on their roster, and they made this move because at the end of the day, no quarterback is going to be available at this young of an age and this talented. Don't give me the Malik Willis, the Kenny Pickett, the Russell Wilson. This is a young man. They have a young quarterback. And ultimately, if they have to deal with 6 games of suspension compared to the next 10 to 15 years of Deshaun Watson, that was a risk they were willing to take. The move made out of desperation. And although you may not like the whole situation, the NFL is based on winning. And in order to win, you need talent. And that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns did.